Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special podcast that we will be broadcasting on both the Rediscover the 80s podcast feed and also our Masscast feed as we discuss our experience with RetroCon 2018. On the line with me is, of course, Wyatt. Hello, Wyatt.
Greetings. How are you?
Doing well. And we also have our friend we spent most of our RetroCon experience with, Bill Faries. How are you, Bill?
I'm good, gentlemen. Thank you.
Good to have you along. We are basically going to do a wrap-up show for our experience there in Oaks, PA this past weekend and talk a little bit about just what we saw, the fun collectibles and everything that we got eyes on, and some of the guests that were there, and a couple other little fun experiences we did actually in the parking lot. But it was great to have our be with our buddy, our mask buddy again, Bill, who runs mattracker.com. And how many times have you been to RetroCon, Bill? Has this been your second or third time now?
Third.
Cool.
The first time I went was the first year, they did the panel. And then I met up with you guys with the A-Team when they were there, which was 2 years ago.
Yes.
And then, third. So I guess the last 3 years.
Yeah, we had the awesome opportunity in 2015 to actually be on a panel at RetroCon with voice actor Doug Stone and celebrating the 30th anniversary of Mask. Those of you who have followed us might remember that way back when. But that was probably the ultimate convention experience there that I've had, and it's been hard to kind of top that. Meeting half of the A-Team was right up there, but man, that year was really great.
Yeah, we got to meet a lot of our new podcasting friends. Not new in the persona that we've talked with them over the years, especially like you, Bill, but we had never formally met in person. So it was actually a double honor to be able to meet some of our podcasters in person rather than just over the years chit-chatting on various formats.
Right. Well, how do we want to start? You want to just dive into some of the stuff that we bought at RetroCon and the many, probably 200 or so vendors they have there?
Yeah, we can start. Bill, how about you go first?
Yeah, you bought something pretty early, like right out of the chute when you got there.
Well, I wasn't overly prepared for this, so some of the stuff's already put away, but
don't worry, I'm in the same boat.
I've got all my stuff.
This was the coolest thing I got.
Nice.
It's a lunchbox, but the red one is the one you see everywhere. You never see the blue one. So when I saw it, I had to pick it up. It's in good shape. No thermos, but I have it now, so not too bad. Picked up a couple random things. I still have Optimus Prime's trailer here, sitting here. Yeah. And you can see the whole transaction go down in the
right
in the Behind the Mask episode of the RetroCon 2018, from start to finish. But yeah, and then I got the Funko like cutout things you guys gave me, and then a food fighter, and yeah, that's about it. Nothing crazy. It was more or less going to hang out there. It was more or less that for me.
Right.
And I've actually been downsizing my collection a little bit, not mask stuff, but some other things. I'm sticking more toward seemingly mostly Kenner, to be honest. But there's other things mixed in there. But yeah, so I'm trying to downsize a little bit. So that's why I didn't buy a lot.
Nice.
I was on a budget. That's why I didn't buy a lot this year.
Well, I also had a budget too, but yeah, sometimes your eyes are bigger than your wallet or something like that. So
oh yes, and it's so true when you the minute you hit those doors at RetroCon and you walk down that just the first row of tables, and by the time I get past those first row of tables, I'm already like, man, I've cleaned out half of my budget already. And I still got, like 8 rows to go.
That first row had one of the best tables there.
Yeah.
Where you got a lot of the things that you bought. I won't spoil it yet for anybody, but it did pick up quite a few things in that one spot there. So
yeah, we did. Wyatt, what did you all come away with at RetroCon?
Well, I thought I had some of them right in front of me, but I guess they went MIA or in a box already. I bought 3. I guess they're tattoos, Voltron tattoos, one of which Jason will probably post up.
There you go.
But 3 of them, gave one to him since he's just as much of a Voltron geek as I am. I bought my little tiny General Lee, one of the original General Lees that's all been rubbed off, so you can't even tell except that it's orange. Bought my kids a Kirby and a Sonic Wii game.
You bought stuff for your kids? That's not what that's about.
I know. I'm always on the scope out for my kids. That's what happens when you're a parent.
I'm kidding. I don't have kids, so it's all for me.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Then something I've been itching at for the last 5.
Yes,
times we've been here. Got Mr. Alf.
Nice.
The Alf keychain here. So I walked away light. But yes, like any of us, I wish I could have had about $1 million budget to just scoop it all up.
We're gonna have to pause the show just for a second.
Oh, okay. So while we're paused, any reason for downsizing?
This just in, I have kids, and they sometimes like to barge in. I'm sorry, did you finish?
I finished. I was actually trying to make small talk with Bill, but he went deaf.
I heard you said because, yeah, I apologize.
Well, anyway, I was selfish, even though I do have kids. I don't know what it is. I just focus in on everything that I want at RetroCon, and I just can't get over finding stuff that they might want. So take it for what it's worth. But the first thing that I bought at RetroCon, so I wore this vest that I got. It was actually at Target. It's part of the Stranger Things official clothing line. It's I call it the life preserver because it reminds you of like Marty McFly. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get a hat that looked like Dustin's from Stranger Things, which is that red, white, and blue kind of trucker's hat, and didn't really want to spend $20 on one that we found ironically at Spencer's the night before there, Wyatt, when we were in the mall. So I walked in and literally right around the corner, one of the first tables to the right, I spotted this hat, which was perfect. The Avoid the Noid hat that has the the old school mesh on the back, and that was perfect. I bought that for $1 and was like, man, how fortuitous was that? And I put it right on my head. I was worried I might get lice or something, but apparently it's in decent shape. So no lice so far. And I wore that for the rest of the con. I also put my RetroCon button on there too, which I think you guys both got as well.
You didn't put it on while you were wearing it, did you?
I don't think so. I don't think I had it on.
Probably would have been dangerous.
That would have been fun though. In that same box with the hat, I've found a He-Man mini comic. The Treachery of Motorlock. Okay.
There's a lot of weird names in Masters line, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, well, this is mainly on the Evil Horde. They got all the Horde characters on the back, but that was $1. I was like, sweet. It was in the same box. And then, yeah, Bill, at that same table that you bought the Optimus trailer, I spotted a bunch of GoBots, and I'm told many times on both podcasts that I'm a GoBots apologist, and I owned, I don't know, maybe a dozen as a kid, and I had the command center, and ended up trading those away on eBay. I say trading because I was buying all my mask stuff at that time, trying to boost that collection. So I've been slowly getting GoBots back into the collection, and even the kids have been playing with them now. But I had a lot of the main characters and had not recollected them, so I found a lot of those at a pretty good price. Leader 1, the leader of the GoBots. I got Turbo, who was also one of the main good guys. And then some of the main bad guys that I did not have as a kid, I ended up getting. I did have a Psykill when I was a kid, so I got a Psykill. He's in okay shape, but he had the engine and both wheels, so I was like, yeah, I'll go for it. Crasher, and then I did not have Crasher as a kid, and then I also got Coptor, which is in needs a little cleaned up, but has the propeller and everything, so that was pretty good to grab that. So I got those 4, and then 5 actually, and then last year, just at a random table like you often do at RetroCon, I snagged some of the power suits. I think 2 or 3 power suits, and a couple GoBots that were in there. But I did not have the middle part of the power suit, and I found that in the box. So that was the big thing that I bought this time. It really wasn't a bad deal, $20 for being in the box. But now I can kind of, I need to get a couple more power suits to transform it into the the huge robot. Everything back then had to be like Voltron, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Everything spawned from Voltron.
The Puzzler. I need to get the Puzzler from the GoBots line. That was the 5 that was like Devastator turned into 1. I found Ram Man in a random $2 box. I had him as a kid. I usually just try to find, especially in the Master Universe, find the ones that I had as a kid. And then I think lastly, I'll show. Actually, got a prize at the trivia contest, which was the question about Knight Rider. What does the acronym FLAG stand for? That was pretty easy. The backup question was, what does CAR stand for? Go ahead, Wyatt.
Knight Automated Roving Robot.
Boom.
CAR, if you prefer.
But I got the Lego Dimensions Michael Knight and kit. So, and we actually have the Lego Dimensions. I haven't played in a while.
Queued that up better, and I could have actually played the audio.
I set you up a little bit there. So that was my rather, I guess, modest haul from RetroCon. And I guess let's talk about it. There's always a lot of good cosplay at RetroCon. What were some of the favorite ones that you guys saw this year? Let's start with you, Wyatt.
Oh, I would probably say there's a few Autobot or Transformer ones that walked around. They were pretty impressive. It was weird because I was actually looking for the Pee Wee Herman guys again, just to see if they'd come back. Instead, I think one of my favorites was actually the Ernest. Ernest Goes to Camp or someone. He's carrying, even has a sign, Ernest Goes to RetroCon.
Yeah.
He's personally one of my favorites. But there's always Star Wars. There's always some kind of a Batman or Superman or someone walking around. I don't know. It for me, there wasn't as much there weren't as many. I know I saw them in the line, but the last 2 times that I've been, I was rather surprised. I thought there would be, just a plethora of
Mhm.
cosplay. Maybe we were on the wrong day again. Maybe it was Sunday when they all came out.
Well, the contest was Saturday, but yeah, again, not being there both days, we didn't really have that wow moment like the Pee Wee's Playhouse people there we saw last year. I just kind of stopped what I was looking at and
Oh,
was
I just about
getting out my
bombarded them.
camera. They're like, let us get down to the end of the aisle here, and with the conky, oh my gosh, that was just insane from last year. But what I thought was cool this year was, well, you don't like Star Wars, but they had that speeder bike in the backdrop there. You could hop on and get your picture taken. And I was about ready to do that. I have put on a little bit of weight. So I was looking, and this little girl got off the thing. And when she got off, like a side panel fell off the bike. And I was like, maybe I'll pass on getting up on that thing.
Probably a good idea.
Anyway, Bill, what were some of the ones that you saw?
I was actually just trying to look up the RetroCon page here because there were some that I saw, but there's also some that I saw but I don't remember. I don't know if that's a testament to it being a bad costume, but there was a guy who made a Silverhawks costume that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
we saw that toward the end.
Sweet.
He won the contest, by the way.
That's good. Carmen Sandiego, I saw her like 50 times. And then
ironically,
this guy's been at the convention, I think, for the past couple of years, and he's probably been going longer than we've been going. That guy walks around with the tape over his mouth.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what that is. Do you guys know what that is?
I?
Like, and he stares at you. I'm like, why are you here? I'm sure he has some sort of reason for it, but it's creepy. And yeah, every time I see him, I'm like, I try to take a step to the right or the left, depending on what side he's on. Try to avoid him as best I can. But yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, as you said, Wyatt, there were a lot of Transformers there. Surprisingly, though, like nobody really dressed up as Jem. They had, the voice actor who played her. Nobody, yeah. I didn't see anybody dressed up as Jem. Maybe because that movie bombed so bad, nobody wanted to be out in person like that.
Maybe.
But yeah, it was. I mean, there was a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of weird stuff. But overall, I think, and I feel bad saying this, but I think the guy who dressed up as Sergeant Slaughter looked more like Sergeant Slaughter that I remember anyway. Yeah, but that was. You always had Ghostbusters there too. So there was like 7 people with like full on proton packs that light up, and but it was pretty cool. There was some good stuff there, but the Silverhawks one was definitely my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's the New Jersey Ghostbusters that usually have a whole clan there. I didn't see them have a table or anything this year, but there was several in full Ghostbusters.
It seems to be dying down. When we got there in 2015, it was like everybody on the Northeast basically had a Ghostbuster something. They had the cars out front as an exhibit. They had.
Well, I'm ready. I got my proton pack right there.
I see. You ready to tackle dental floss? Is that what that is? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'd like to see you put that on.
A lot easier than what they were putting theirs on. But
true.
Now it just keeps dwindling. I'm really shocked that, like, I don't know if they're that taxed, like had too many conventions, or if it's just like, yeah, okay, we did our thing in 2015. Let's go on to the next.
Maybe the rebooted Ghostbusters ruined it for them.
Could be.
I don't think so, because I do remember, I think it was last year that they had several girl cosplay Ghostbusters there. But yeah, they just for some reason that they didn't didn't have their own booth and kind of turn out like they have in the past. Who did turn out was the G.I. Joe guys, because I think every single year I've been there, they've had a table or just a horde of cosplayers come in, and I know it's like a nationwide like cosplay group that they're a part of, but they bring it with the costumes. Like you said, they had the Sergeant Slaughter there. I took a picture of Lowlight, which is my favorite character, and they had a dude from he was one of the Grenader, whatever you call him, Destro's people. He was there, and his son was the enforcer. Dadgummit, from the movie.
My G.I. Joe knowledge is very limited. I'm not much of a help here.
It'll come to me in a minute.
I know but, like Snake Eyes. That's about all I know.
Well, yeah, they didn't go with like the I guess more popular characters. I did see 2 Scarlets there, which was appropriate since BJ Ward was there. But yeah, Nemesis Enforcer. His little son was Nemesis Enforcer, and I had to get a picture of them. And yeah, it just they were great costumes. It just wasn't any of the really the main characters that you remember from the show. But that was great. Yeah, the Silverhawks guy just blew me away because he had the full-on metal wings that came out when he put his arms out, just like they do. He had the Tally Hawk on his shoulder, and well deserving of that first place. I think the Trax Transformer guy came in second, and that was pretty impressive too. That was pretty tall, that costume. And there were several back there by the Cybertronic Spree table that were, they had Optimus and Megatron. I'm trying to think who else. There was like 4 or 5 of them. I think it was a professional or at least a cosplayer that had a table back there. They were all kind of hanging out together. But those costumes were fantastic.
They looked like they were very hot too, because the people wearing them, they would keep taking the helmets off.
Oh yeah,
they were just drenched, and it wasn't like it was like boiling hot in there either. But whatever they have going on with inside that costume, there must be no ventilation at all.
Yeah, I did notice that. Trying to think of some other ones. Yeah, I do remember seeing Carmen Sandiego several times. But we took lots of pictures. We'll end up putting some up on the website so everybody can see over there at Rediscover the 80s. And did either of you have interactions with I'll call them the celebrities, the voice actors this year?
I didn't. I was planning on going Sunday to meet the Angry Video Game Nerd, but I didn't want to go back twice. And that was really the only person I was interested in seeing. I mean, for me, the first year we went, I met Doug Walker, who is the nostalgia critic. And that was pretty cool. He gave me some good advice on the website that I'm finally putting into action. And I met Doug, and that was, I mean, those are really it for me. I mean, because it's, meeting half the 18 was cool too, but I wasn't a big 18 fan growing up. I don't really like flock like I used to, because I'm older, I guess. It's still cool to meet them, but nobody's really like stood out and I have to meet this person. I do want to meet the Angry Video Game Nerd at some point, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So, but yeah.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's a lot of those are kind of hit or miss. And especially, us 3 being guys, we're not necessarily flocking to meet the voice actor of Jim or She-Ra, who actually did not make it, and they ended up replacing Melindy Brent with BJ Ward. So that's understandable, and I kind of wanted to get my picture with Sarge. I wasn't prepared to pay, what was it, $30?
35.
35 just to get your picture with him, not even including a autograph or anything. Because I do like GI Joe. But yeah, I remember Sarge, and how big he was in my experience was mainly on the GI Joe side more than the wrestling. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I set a budget. I was trying to stay within that budget, and I just didn't pull the trigger on meeting Sarge. But we had met Larry Kinney before, Wyatt. I think it was in 2015 when Doug Stone was there that he was there.
It was, and I went up to him and actually, he was the only one I did interact with. I wanted to talk to BJ Ward, but honestly, the prices got me scared it off. The only reason I wanted to meet her was she was the voice of Princess Allura from Voltron. So that was my only...
Allura?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so that was my only interest in her. But I thought, well, maybe, Larry Kinney will remember me because I had the Thundercats belt buckle. Maybe he'd remember me. And I guess he really didn't. I don't know if one of those, Thundercat home moments, over your head.
I'm sure he meets like 150 people a day at these conventions, if not more. Sure.
So I just, all I did was...
You're saying that Wyatt's forgettable? That's not very nice, Jason.
Well, I am forgettable and forgetful. But that's what the wife says. But yeah, it was real quick. I just went up and said, "Hey, I met you 3 years ago. It was cool, and I great seeing you here again." I even bragged on you, Jason, a little bit, saying that you swore you saw him going through the Atlanta airport about a year ago, and he goes, "I might have." He was very this time. He was very not as talkative. He was more talkative in 2015 than he was as he's like, "Yeah, you probably saw me."
3 years older now too. I mean,
oh yeah.
3 years of conventions. How many years after? I mean, I don't know if he's still doing voice work, but it's got to take a toll.
I think he is. He still does the Skittles commercials, I know.
Okay.
Taste the rainbow, contract the rainbow. You know that one where they get the Skittles, like Skittles pox or whatever they call it?
Yeah.
That's still him at the end of that one.
Pretty appetizing.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I did want to meet Pixel Dan too, because I follow him some on Twitter, and we'll occasionally go over there and watch his YouTube videos. But every time I went up there to interact with him, he was elsewhere, probably filming videos for his YouTube channel. Yeah. And I saw him a couple times. He had like the selfie handle for his camera that he was going around and just meeting a lot of people too. So
yeah,
didn't get a chance to interact with him, but I did want to just chat with him a little bit. And yeah, I got to see other than Bill there, I got to see a couple other of my online friends, I'll call it. I missed a few that ended up messaging me afterward that they were just there at a different time or went on Sunday. But that's always the fun part of it too, and especially this year, Bill, was hanging out with people that you really wish you were closer to hang out with more often. And we kind of went back and forth on Messenger there in preparation for seeing each other at the show. And Bill, you came up with this crazy idea to we'll let the cat out of the bag, I guess, if people are really anticipating it or not. But we filmed
anticipating it yet because I haven't announced anything. I can tell you this, that the principal stuff of it's done, and I'm waiting on one thing to happen, which probably think about what it is. I kind of want to keep it down for now.
So we'll keep it very suspenseful then.
I want to bring it out. I want to bring it out when it's finished. I don't want to. I don't want to tease anybody with it and then have them ask for it because obviously people are going to be knocking down doors for this. So
absolutely, yeah.
But no, you're right.
Tell you,
we can talk about it vaguely to build up suspense if you want.
Well, yeah, they were Oscar-worthy performances, and
I think more like Oscar-winning outtakes than there were performances.
yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to, is you putting together an outtake reel from what we filmed. Because just watching the few the few unspliced videos that I took, I die laughing each time. But yeah, it was a fun experience.
We'll just leave it at that we were recreating our childhood. It's probably the best way to word it that is so vague.
What did I say? 3 grown men acting like idiots. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Acting, well, yeah, childish idiots.
And I did, whatever it is, I did present it to our other party that we're waiting on, and we got a little chuckle out of it too. So
that's good.
But yeah, so basically, essentially, what we're talking about is something that's going to come out in a later episode of Behind the Mask, but also will be given to Agents of Mask website so they can show it as well. And it'll all tie in together, and it should be fun. It was a lot of fun doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I explained some of it in the video too. Oh, I gave it away. It's video. No, it's.
I think I said video already. So yeah,
that's right. I'm just
filming,
kidding.
and yeah,
it's funny because I got the idea when I was driving out to Harrisburg for work. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm driving out there, going down the turnpike, and the idea came to me, and I'm like, it's funny because I wanted to pull over at a rest stop and send you guys a message at like 5 in the morning. But I figured that would be like a jerk move, so I wouldn't do that. Because I wanted to get that idea out there and throw it to you guys, because there'd be nobody else that I could think of that it would work with. So yeah.
Well,
I appreciate that, being on Central Time and you being on Eastern Time. So
well, you can wake me up. I'm usually up by 5, so and I could be wake Jason up at 4.
Right. Well, I essentially, being in Central Time, woke up at 3 o'clock to get to the airport on Tuesday.
I always forget your Central.
What now?
I always forget that you're Central Time.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was really fun. We had a lot of fun putting that together, and I just can't wait for the end product to debut on our Mask sites. Not that I'm giving anything away. Well, speaking of Mask, I think we had mentioned. Well, it's probably in the walkthrough video, which again you can find over there on the Matt Tracker YouTube channel, Behind the Mask episode 7. I want to say.
Yes, I think
I put it up on our Agents of Mask site today, just so everybody knew about it. But just kind of walking through, it seemed like there was a whole lot more Mask, just overall items there this year.
There was a lot of boxed items, which you don't see too often. And aside from that one bin that we found, like it was like $10 for anything inside this bin.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was really like junky either. Obviously, those were sold as junk parts, but there was a lot of nice stuff. The one thing I really wanted to get, but if I brought it home, my wife would have killed me. Is the Halloween costume in the box. Right now, there's one on eBay for $30 out of the box, but what am I going to do with it? I can't wear it. What's the point of buying clothing if you can't wear it, right? So
hang it on the inside of your master bathroom door.
There
Like
you
I
go.
hang it there, but it looks like I'm hanging a child off the door. I don't that would look right in my videos. So,
Yeah, I mean, just from years past, it seemed like there was maybe 2 or 3 vendors that would have a pretty decent selection of loose vehicles, figures, and this year it seemed like there was like at least a dozen vendors, or maybe even more, that had at least 2 or 3 items, maybe loose, and then there was a couple vendors that had a whole ton of stuff loose, and then there was that one that had that full box of bagged figures you could buy, some with the mask and some without. And there was that one vendor that had all of the birthday party stuff, and the mask board game was sitting there too. It just seemed like just about everything. If you're looking for something mask, toys, or other, it was almost like it was there this year.
Mm-hmm.
they even had laser command stuff that I never see.
Yeah, right.
So that was pretty cool. I don't know if it worked, but I forget if it was Rat Fang or Hornet. I think it was just Hornet, which is the box. I don't think it was the truck, but still, you don't see that anywhere. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Was there anything, Wyatt, that you saw that you were like, oh man, I would love to buy this, but it's just too much?
There's probably several things I'd like to add to my mask collection. So that's one of those things. The little fists for my Optimus Prime. I remember going to the Transformer spot where Bill got his trailer, and I asked the guy if he had Optimus hands. And of course, he takes me over to there, and they wanted $25 for these 2 little things. I could probably find someone with a 3D printer to print for me. And I'm like,
you know what? I was just thinking you might be able to find it on Shapeways. That's why Priority made it.
I'll have to write that down.
I'll look right now.
Shapeways?
Yeah, Shapeways. It's where all the 3D printing gets done for the mask stuff that people are doing. Like if you check the message boards and the forums and the groups, there's a couple people that have made the Thunderball, the ramp up, the energy table, things like that. So you could probably find it on there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm sure I just haven't looked.
Look, I'll look while you're talking. How about that?
Yeah, but I guess I was on a craze for Alf lately. I wanted to buy up all the Alfs that were there, but the big guy was not for sale. Although he did wear our cool shades at the trivia table.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did have a. I got my picture with him when I first walked in there.
I think I did too.
Yeah, that was fun. I did go around and was taking pictures of everything Alf I could see, since I was wearing that Alf shirt from 8-Bit Zombie.
What about
how much you find him for, Bill?
Message coming your way. Fan you fists. $4.36.
36 cents. Yeah,
$4
than freaking
$4.36.
$4.36. There you go.
You
That's still cheaper.
Actually, no, you can get it with the blue paint on it for $4.86.
That works for me.
There you go. Yeah. Problem solved.
Yeah.
That's like out here on a radio commercial.
How about you, Bill? Was there anything that just maybe beyond mask related that you saw and were like, oh, I'd love to have that?
There was that Superman cardboard cutout. I wanted that, and I waited too long. By the time I went back, it was gone. It wasn't even that much, but the problem was I didn't feel like walking around with it the whole time. And there was a Ninja Turtles animation cell too. It was pretty cool. I didn't see a price on it, but main character pricing for stuff like that, you're looking at like $100 at minimum. So I didn't even bother asking. And I mean, if somebody had a superpowers Riddler, I would have probably tried to steal it and run out because I can't afford it. It's literally the only thing I don't have in my superpowers collection, but it's a knockoff from Argentina, because people still count it toward the collection for some reason. Whoever made up that rule is probably the only person that has one.
Yeah, so they can up the price, right?
Yeah. But, you know, it's hard to say, because I was looking at some older game systems too, the 5200, TurboGrafx 16, but those were expensive, and there's no guarantee they're going to work. And what am I going to do? Right. Wait till next year, hope they're going to be back there so I can get a refund. So I wasn't really going to do that either. So there's a couple of things.
Yeah, those are kind of hard to gauge, just depending on where you get it from and if they have tested it or whatever. But yeah, I did see there was what was that other system that you found? Was it a Omega or no, Intellivision or something? Can't remember.
Coleco.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were several vendors that had basically just video games and systems there, but I kind of passed over those because of budgetary reasons. Mainly, some of the cool stuff that I saw, there was a Castle of Lions there from the Voltron. They wanted, I think, $225 for. It looked in pretty good shape, but I had not seen one. I don't at least remember seeing one up close before. They had a Ernest doll that talked. That was one of the first things I kind of took a picture of as, ooh, that would be fun to just to have and pull the string or whatever. Didn't see the price tag on that one, but that was fun. Trying to remember what else I saw that was just kind of eye-opening. Oh, there was that one vendor that had, it was basically a wall of boxed G.I. Joe vehicles and like 3 rows of 3 layers or tiers of this display. It was just all boxed stuff. So I couldn't believe it. It looked like a library of G.I. Joe. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think when I was looking for you guys initially, I was walking by and I was like, oh yeah, this guy has every box G.I. Joe thing you could ever want.
Yes.
Like you don't see it at first because it's all on the side. It's not, so you don't see the colorful face. So you might miss it at a glance, but then you do like a double take on it and you wall. So yeah, it's literally a wall. That
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The one vendor that always blows me away that I would love to have some of his items, but I don't have the man cave to really display it. And that's the guy that has like all of the arcade marquee signs that are backlit and just glorious. And looking at, I think most of them are like $75 or $100, just depending on, I guess, how rare they were, or I don't know. I don't know what the price was based on, but they had several there that I would just love to have. Spy Hunter and Rampage, and oh my gosh, there's just so many that I wanted, but I just don't have a really good place to display them. I don't want to display them here in my lovely laundry room, Did either of you guys play any of the arcade games they had in that arcade they had set up back there?
No, I've yet to do that.
I did not this year. Last year I played, I forget what I played, but it's usually pretty busy back there. Between everybody wanting to jump on them since they're all free play, and then you have probably the 70% of the people in costume. in the back too, because it's an open area, so it's easier for them to congregate. So it gets a little crowded. So I tend to stay away from that area sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't make it over there either. I know last year I was waiting for a couple of little kids to get off the Spy Hunter, but never did. And I was really not appreciating that they were just like not even trying.
Gotta throw your weight around there.
But we did have some of the vehicles back this year. I didn't stop to get my a picture with them or sit in them or anything, but they had our A-Team van back, which I believe is Tony's that puts on the show, the same one from last year. And then they had the Back to the Future DeLorean from...
Is that a different one this year?
Yeah, I don't know if they specifically, changed it from the one they had before, but this was in the style of the third movie, where they have that Pepsi crate of electronic garbage on the hood, and then they tried to spray. It looked like tried to spray paint the tires white, or they must have rubbed something on them to get the white walls. So yeah, it was a little bit different than the one that they've had there in the past, which was, I think, just based on the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Jurassic Park Jeep came back this year. But I was surprised there wasn't, and again, it was a little rainy outside when we pulled up, but they didn't have any cars outside like they've had in years past. The Bill and Ted's phone booth was back there, which they have every year, which is fun. But
this time it seemed like it was hidden because it was real far behind that Star Wars.
Basically in the women's room, wasn't it?
Kinda, yeah.
Just about, yeah.
And then there was a girl when Jason and I were there was a girl trying to mimic dialing the phone, and then someone else made a comment that it was, man, I haven't seen one of those in years, but didn't recognize it was the time machine.
Yeah, she had no clue it was from Bill and Ted. I mean, she was just, hey, look, an old time phone booth. Oh my gosh. All right, was there anything else y'all wanted to talk about from RetroCon? Cricket.
I don't have anything else to jump in with, but yeah, I can't think of anything else at the moment.
Okay. Well, just briefly, Wyatt, unless you had anything else, I was going to mention we decided not to go to Sunday's the Sunday show this year because we had this little inkling a while back, or at least I did, and Wyatt agreed to go along with it, was to head back to our hometown and essentially do Memory Jogger the movie, which is our podcast over there on Rediscover the 80s, where we talk about our childhood and different memories. And we had a fun experience driving up. It was about a 4-hour drive from Philly, to get to our hometown, and got to see our family. But then went out Sunday morning and spent about 3 hours revisiting our school and our old hangout place and our childhood homes. And yeah, we might have been a little bit of stalking people that live in our childhood homes, but it was fun. We got to just kind of do a lap around Clearfield and Kerwinsville, and even out to Frenchville there where we grew up, and got to basically visualize some of the stuff that we have talked about on the podcast.
Right. I'm going to piggyback just a hair. I want to commend Tony for putting the RetroCon together. I know if with his team and his ideas of putting that together, it's still a fantastic venue. So I wanted to give a shout out to him. But like Jason said, we also were baiting you all on the Rediscover the '80s side for our memory jogger of the movie. We're going to be editing that and putting it out as well. Just like Bill's baiting us with his little endeavor. So I'm actually anxious to hear that and see that, and I'll leave it at that. Sorry.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and yeah, I wasn't trying to. I know we've said, past years shows have been a little bit better in certain aspects, but it is still a spectacle when I walk through those, double set of doors, and you just kind of look across all the vendors and you start making your way around. There's just nothing like it that, at least that I've been to, that compares. So,
and Bill, your dog agrees. I can hear.
Yeah, I can hear him too. He's probably barking at another dog walking out front of the house.
Nice.
I apologize.
No,
that's fine.
Part of the comedy.
Yeah.
It's fine. And then I guess just to kind of wrap this up, we also, while we were back at Wyatt's house on Monday, I had this crazy idea because we were going to podcast, basically do this show Monday, and decided to wait and go ahead and get Bill in on this since he was there. But I had the crazy idea of watching a Mask episode in the kind of Mystery Science Theater 3000 style. And we pulled up Wyatt's couch there down in the basement. And he even tried to do some puppetry with Bowser.
He did try.
Yeah, and then we ended up using Sonic for the second go round, but that was really fun. It was just us trying to be funny and do something new with over there on the YouTube channel. So be looking for that. It's pretty much done. I just have to. I was going to put a little intro to it, but I might not, and just go ahead and post it for everybody out there. But it was fun. We watched the Death Stone. We watched actually the first 3 episodes. We realized our lapel microphones that we used in the first episode actually were not picking up in the second and third episode. So the audio is a little bit different, but I think we're going to go ahead and there's enough audio that you can make out what we're saying and kind of follow along. So we'll go ahead and do those, but it's going to be a while before we can do any more.
I don't know how we can do side by side unless we do it with Skype and time it just right.
Yeah, that would be a little bit.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that'd be a new endeavor. But that was really fun. That was a nice cap to the awesome weekend that was RetroCon. And I know I saw a lot of pictures from the Cybertronic Spree concert. We decided to skip out on that too. We'd watched them last year. And then I'm seeing all these videos being posted of them doing the gem theme. What's her face was actually there. They played for her. I think they even brought her up on stage at one point. They did the He-Man theme. I heard the Thundercats theme. So they broke out all these new songs, and it kind of made me regret not going to the concert Saturday night. But oh my gosh, I know a couple people that I interact with frequently online went to their first show, and they were pretty much blown away like we were last year, Wyatt. Bill, you've got to go ahead and check that out sometime. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to yet.
It's so much fun. So that was kind of the icing on the cake last year, meeting the A-Team and going to that concert was just very cool. So overall, yeah, another great show. I'm sad that it's already come and gone because there's a lot of anticipation, at least for me, throughout the year as I see, ooh, this voice actor's coming and this person is coming and they're bringing Cybertronic Spree back, and Tony does a good job of just building up the hype throughout the year. And then, of course, all of the vendors that come out each year and just blow you away with what what you can put up for sale. So it was a great time. Bill, you got any closing remarks, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
No, I mean, it was fun hanging out. Maybe we'll do it again in about a year.
Sounds like it.
I'm trying. It might be just you two, depending on the circumstances of the incoming next member of the Bloom family. So we'll see.
You gotta be able to at least get away for a couple hours. Come on.
It takes us a couple hours just to get there.
Well, you invite your family in, and then you can leave. You know, invite them in for a visit. They can babysit. They can get their grandkid time, and then we'll kidnap you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, like I said. And Bill, it was great to see you again. We just want to invite everybody to go out to matttracker.com, Matt Tracker on YouTube. Check out Behind the Mask. He's been doing some fun stuff with that. Reviewing, but also some humor in there too, which makes it a fun watch. And yeah, that live stream video, it's a little rough at times. You get to see a lot of my butt in the back of my head and my shoes.
Well, I mean,
so I apologize, but
one shot purposely of your shoes. But other than that, because I actually like your shoes, but other than that, it was extreme gorilla camera work there. So
it's like watching. Yeah, it's like watching those body cams that the police use. You know.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, though, a lot of people watched it on the. Well, not surprisingly, but like I wasn't expecting as many views on the Facebook feed that there were. But it's nice to know that some people had some enjoyment out of it. So
yeah. Well, and if you think we're total dorks, then just watch it for what RetroCon is like, just going from table to table and everything that we found, because there's just not an experience, like I said, like it out there in my opinion. So that was fun to put together, but it was great to see you. And Wyatt, my friend, always a pleasure. Thanks for being the humble host and allowing me to stay in your abode.
No problem. It's been fun. I thoroughly enjoyed, Bill. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you at the RetroCon and just to hang out even for lunch. Awesome times, even though you were slightly distracted by the hockey game. I'll forgive you.
I was watching football too, so yeah. It wasn't just Bill. But anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap this, and we just appreciate everybody watching and listening on our podcast feeds. And please go to retrocons.com and get all the information you need if you missed this year's show, or if you're within the Philadelphia driving to Philadelphia within a few hours. It's totally worth it. I know several people that come in from like Western PA and even New York that drive down just to go to the show, and it's well worth it to go there and go out and follow them on their social media feeds too, so you can see everything that happened from this year's show, and also just follow them along throughout the year to see who's going to be at next year's show. But until next time, for Bill and for Wyatt, this is Jason and Bill's dog, and we appreciate you listening to the show.